jealousy is real. The jealousy is real. And I'm not just talking about the overwhelming jealousy that dump divers in the WNBA feel towards the Rue from Waterloo. I'm starting to wonder, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, I'm starting to wonder if there's a little bit of jealousy, maybe a little bit of resentment that is building towards Angel Reese.
Angel Reese walked into the WNBA All-Star festivities like it was her grand moment, but reality hit hard. She found herself benched, blocked, and bounced out like yesterday's news. The league's seasoned stars weren't exactly rolling out the red carpet, they were giving her the cold shoulder. So, what happens when viral fame clashes with established greatness? Let's just say, it wasn't a fairy tale. From cold glares to clear rejection, this turned into the all-star wake-up call Angel never saw coming. Buckle up because this one's as dramatic as it gets.
She finished 5th overall in fan voting, 10th among all voting once you factored in, but only 12th among the media and the players. So the players actually rated Caitlin Clark higher than Angel Reese, which I think is interesting, although certainly it's deserved. But I will say, Angel Reese, Ronnie and I have debated it on the program. Ronnie has been pretty clear that he thinks that she sucks at basketball. I have defended her as having dimensions of her game that are high level. I got to a point here a couple of weeks ago where I was starting to wonder if she actually sucked or not, but she has put together an impressive streak here over her last 4 games.
Honestly, if I were a WNBA player, I'd be frustrated too, but not because of Caitlin Clark. I'd be frustrated seeing Angel Reese on magazine covers, landing sneaker deals, and dominating headlines despite spending more time on the bench than on the scoreboard. If there were a sport for getting attention with minimal output, she'd be putting up MVP numbers. Meanwhile, the true veterans, those who've been putting in work for years, can't even land a Gatorade commercial. It's not just envy. It's the kind of frustration that comes from years of being overlooked.
Well, this is very interesting, and certainly a plot twist from last season. And I'm talking about the mainstream media, the sports media, and their love affair with Angel Reese. Now, we know the media jumped through hoops, gymnastics, mental gymnastics. I mean, however you try to put it, they tried to raise up Angel Reese last year as being, of course, she's running neck and neck with Caitlin Clark for the Rookie of the Year.
Let's be honest, Angel Reese is starting to feel like that teammate who joins the group project late, says a few words, and somehow gets all the credit. And the wild part? People are loving it. There's a strange new trend where flash seems to matter more than fundamentals, where hustle stats and social media moments outweigh making an actual jump shot. These days, it's less about performance and more about presence. Drop a cryptic tweet, stir up some buzz, and suddenly you're a headline name.
The words from jealous WNBA players do not match up with their actions. They say one thing, and then they go and do another. And I'm starting to wonder if that same jealousy, that same resentment, I'm starting to wonder if it's building towards Angel Reese.
Now here's where things get especially awkward. It's almost as if the entire league is treating Caitlin Clark like she exposed all their hidden flaws. Like she's the reason people haven't been tuning in for the past 2 decades. Reality check. Clark didn't create the ratings problem. She simply walked in, flipped on the lights, and suddenly, the issues that had been ignored for years were impossible to miss. But instead of addressing them, the WNBA chose to blame the person holding the flashlight.
Both impact the game. My teammates are saying Caitlin Clark moves the needle on basketball, right? Versus Angel, who moves the needle on viewership, on interest, on engagement. No one can deny that because she's on McDonald's bags, because she has her own podcast, because she's at the Met Gala, because she's transcending the sport and she's showing girls femininity. My sister don't play basketball, no Angel Reese. My sister don't play basketball, she knows Caitlin Clark too.
But Angel Reese be on a McDonald's bag if she was not a champion averaging a double-double.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna get up because I don't know.
So you're saying Angel
The tension. You can feel it in the air. It's like you're watching a group of backup dancers upset that the spotlight isn't on them, except this time. The lead performer earned that spotlight with historic numbers and undeniable impact. Not from viral clips or dramatic sideline moments, but from actual performance. Yet somehow, Angel Reese is being treated like the league's centerpiece, while Caitlin Clark is getting fouled every quarter as if the rulebook's been tossed out the window. If I were in that locker room, I wouldn't be jealous of Clark. I'd be frustrated that someone can average modest numbers and still be portrayed as the face of a movement. Reese is being celebrated for average play, while Clark is facing relentless physical play simply for being excellent. It's as if the WNBA's logic has flipped upside down. And here's the hard truth. Clark is the main reason the league is seeing packed arenas and rising viewership. Like it or not, she's the one bringing attention, fans, and momentum to the WNBA. Instead of showing appreciation or, at the very least, playing fair, many have turned her into the villain. The outsider, the rookie who had the nerve to be talented, popular, and marketable. And for that, she's being treated like a threat.
WNBA All-Star starters were released and people are pissed. This is how votes were cast. 50% was fan vote, 25% was media, and the remaining 25% was current players. One person that was not one of the 10 starters selected, Angel Reese. Now, Angel was actually 5th among frontcourt players in the fan voting, but she didn't even rank inside the top 10 in current player or media voting. The top vote getter was unsurprisingly Caitlin Clark with over 1.2.
Let's be real, without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA probably wouldn't be leading highlight reels on ESPN. It would still be fighting for airtime between cornhole tournaments and axe-throwing competitions. But somehow, we're supposed to believe that Angel Reese simply being herself is what's powering the league's rise. Meanwhile, the only thing consistently climbing is the number of times she's getting blocked at the rim. And then there are the interviews. Every time Reese speaks, it's like a mashup of motivational quotes and fashion commentary, packaged in a way that somehow bypasses logic but nails marketability. It's nothing short of branding magic. She's got more endorsement deals than career double-doubles. Somewhere, WNBA veteran is likely watching this unfold, questioning whether years of grinding in the gym should have been spent building a social media presence instead. But the league? They're leaning into the story because it's easier to sell a flashy narrative than to confront the uncomfortable truth. That years of marketing misfires were suddenly corrected by a sharpshooting rookie from Iowa who brought national attention, simply by playing the game at a historic level.
17-5, and you may be saying to yourself, well, how many of those 17 rebounds a game are me-bounds? Is she just standing there rebounding at all of her own misses and padding her stats? Only 6 me-bounds in the last 4 games. So even if we discount the me-bounds, she's averaging 16 boards a game over her last 4 games, and she became the first player in WNBA history to put together 4 straight 15-plus rebound games.
Caitlin Clark is single-handedly pulling the WNBA into the spotlight, one highlight at a time. Without her, the sold-out arenas fade back into empty stands and quiet echoes. The poetic twist. If Clark ever decided she'd had enough of being the league's punching bag and took her talents overseas, European leagues wouldn't just welcome her, they'd roll out the red carpet, offer a lucrative, tax-free deal, and probably name a dessert in her honor. She'd be scoring 40 a night while sipping espresso in Milan. If Clark walked away tomorrow, the headlines would follow her, not the league. Because let's be honest, she is the story. Right now, the WNBA is like a leaky umbrella trying to contain a storm it doesn't understand, much less control. What's truly baffling is the league's refusal to simply say, yes, she's great, we need her. Instead, we see veiled criticisms and hard fouls that feel more like statements than defense. The atmosphere has become less about celebrating success and more about gatekeeping it, where popularity is only acceptable if it fits a familiar mold.
We came into the season, the media tried to put Angel Reese amongst the best players again, and then she promptly went out and stunk it up. All right, and stunk it up. Now, she's had a couple of good games as of late, but every time she has a good game, she has a horrific game. And her field goal percentage is down this year. And imagine I just said that. Her field goal percentage has dropped this year versus last year. That's right, she's a worse shooter.
For those that don't know, the WNBA released their All-Star starters for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game hosted in Indiana this year. And baby, I'm not gonna lie, a few people don't deserve to be on here. So just to give you guys context with it, when the first returns came back on the fan voting and I saw that Skylar Diggins was ranked 24th, I was sick. Sick to my stomach because Skylar Diggins has been playing as the best point guard in the league to start out this year. It's no way she should have been ranked at the 24th spot. This is a player that is currently averaging 18 points per game, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, while shooting 46% from the floor.
Greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. The myth of all myths, the deception of deceptions, la mentira de las mentiras for those who prefer Espanol, or as fake gangster John Morant would say, the cap of caps. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
I was gonna ask your take on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Oh Lord.
She put her hands on the desk. Lord, give me strength.
It's a really nuanced situation. I think that Caitlyn brings out this real, like, how do I say this and not get canceled? She brings out this energy from people that she needs to be protected.
That double-double, she got it, sure. That title, sure. She was purposely missing shots at some point to be able to get the rebound.
Did she tell you that?
And if I saw it, and my thing is that if those were intentional shots, she shouldn't be in the WNBA at all. Yeah, I don't know about top 10.
Okay, fair. But based off of you watching her and you saying that you feel as though that she were intentionally missing shots as a professional basketball player and that she shouldn't be in the WNBA if she were taking those shots anyways or whatever, all of these are feeling based. At the end of the day, the numbers are what they are, and those double-doubles have translated into championships on every level that Angel has played.
Reese and Caitlin Clark has gotten way out of control. Angel is a great player. Caitlin is also a great player. They're not the same type of player, and they're starting their careers.
Yeah.
Angel really upset people with how she taunted Caitlin after the championship, as she should. And if a man did it, we wouldn't have even talked about it.